Good. Just having another disappointing performance, specifically defensively. What have been some of the challenges out there for you guys?
Well, I mean, Todd talked a lot about net play in the last few days, and they get a couple there in front of our net, and most of their goals were chaos around the crease and late plays and whacking and winning battles in our net front, and it's frustrating when we talk about it a lot, and it just keeps happening.
Seems like you guys are just chasing the game and trying to outscore your mistakes.
We're not trying to. I can tell you that. It's like the old feeling is that, you focus so hard not turning the puck over. Don't turn it over. Guess what happens? You're gonna turn the puck over. And right now we're just so we want it so bad, and I can tell you that we're listening to what we're being told to do, and we're trying to do it. We're trying to do it, and it's just we're almost trying too hard, and we're not playing the game. We have when things aren't going well, we just kind of sag, and it seems like the things that we talk about just keep happening, and I don't have a reason, but I know we're trying to clean up those mistakes.
Dylan, you guys have had some blueprints this season for how to be successful. Why do you think they've been so hard to replicate?
Well, I think right now we're finding ourselves in holes. And I think even when we were winning games, we were going down 1, down 2 early, and right now we're just a little fragile, and mistakes seem to be compounding, and so I think we're just finding ourselves down early in games, and that's the way it's going right now. And I think that, like you said, there is a blueprint out there for how we play well, and you saw it for parts tonight, and in this league, you have to against a team like that, you got to be ready all 60. You got to show what you're made of all 60 minutes.
We're a team like that creates so much chaos around the net. How do you counter that? What's the best way to just neutralize it?
Well, you got to box out early, and you got to win net front battles, and I don't think we did it, and it showed up because it was in our net, and I thought we had looks. We countered it by blocking shots and going the other way, and not letting them establish net front and make it easy for our goalies to see the puck and get a whistle and start over from the face-off, and we did it at times. Especially first period, we generated enough chances to win that hockey game, and we scored enough to win that hockey game.
There have been a few different points in the last few games where they'll score. The opponents will score 2 within a minute or so, so they'll be able to start the second. Anything you can point to with that as to why the second seems to be the first?
No, I can't. I mean, the puck's on our stick, and it's in the back of our net. Just why, It's just the way it's going, and you got to have a next shift mentality. I think guys like James Van Riemsdyk have been good about next play, just keep playing, and we have to have the next shift mentality to go out there and just play and play hard, do the right things.
So, JT, Dylan was just kind of saying that it feels like the group is maybe trying too hard in some situations. Do you feel that as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's there's definitely some frustration throughout the room. It's not a lot. Guys are working hard, but it's right now it doesn't feel like enough, and we need to do a better job cleaning up a lot of different areas of our game, and we need to keep the puck out of our net. That's plain and simple the problem, and it's every guy, goalies, Steve, forwards, every situation. It's just a mindset and commitment.
JT, when you guys aren't getting the results you're looking for, how do you avoid falling into the mental trap of things?
And just come and work the next day. We have another opportunity tomorrow. And we do a lot of work and practice when we have time and video, and coaches are going to show us what we did wrong. We need to do a better job cleaning it up of what we're seeing.
You guys have had some blueprints of how to play like the Rangers game. Why do you think it's been so hard to replicate?
yeah, just the consistency is not there, and the good teams do it every single night. Even if you don't get the result, it's the same effort and the same commitment to defend, and we need more of that.
Does it start in the offensive zone just establishing a more consistent, better forecheck and spending less time in your own zone?
It's everywhere. Yeah, that would help. But we need to defend our net better. We need to defend rushes better. PK, we got to keep it out of our net. It's all situations that are leading to 6 goals that we're letting up on way too often.
Your line had a good night tonight. What was the key to your guys' success tonight?
Thought we created opportunities by forechecking and dumping the puck in. I mean, those 2 guys are great forecheckers, and Mike made an unbelievable play on my goal, but it's just simple. We talked about forechecking tonight, and I thought when our line did that tonight, we had some success.
Some of the younger players, is it maybe getting caught up of trying too hard to not make a mistake that maybe leads to mistake?
It can be. I mean, it's you're going to learn in this league a bunch of different ways, and even guys that aren't in their first year could be 3rd, 4th year, 6th, 7th year. It's a battle to be consistent in this league, and the good players do it, the good teams do it.
Todd, Dylan was just saying that he feels that they're taking the coaching but maybe trying too hard in a sense. Do you see that way?
They care. Okay, let me make that real clear. They care, and their practice yesterday, we had a really good practice. They do care, but that only gets you so far. And I think Dylan's right. We're trying to give them some guidance, but when it doesn't go well, we got to stay with it. And the unfortunate thing tonight is that we could have walked over and pulled Coop out of the locker room, maybe a couple other players, and said, here's 2. You take those 2, and now we'll start playing. Because you look at the game, in my opinion, we could have been 3-3. Maybe they would have scored on some of their other chances, but we had good ones too. But we gifted them the second one and the 4-on-4 one. That's just the way it is, and we're not good enough to be giving stuff away for free. But I know you've all heard that story before, so until we fix it, and take care of it, then we'll keep having these issues. I said the same thing 2 days ago.
You guys have some blueprints for how to be successful, but it seems like you fall back to what you said earlier in the season. Are we tired of this yet? Why is that?
I can't tell you. I can't answer that question. I can't get in the heads. Like you have to ask, first of all, you got to look and say, okay, are we good enough? Do we have enough talent? Yeah, we do. We don't get 13 wins, 25 games in without having a team that can play well enough. So are we playing well enough? No, we're not. Why aren't we? Well, there's a little bit of disconnect between forwards and D right now, I think, and we've got to fix that. And then in a team game, you sometimes get punished as a team, score-wise, momentum-wise, win-loss-wise, for individual mistakes. And that happens. That's why we play a team game. Team breakdowns are much more repairable than just an individual, faux pas, or whatever you want to call it. Take Albert, for example. Like, there's no system, there is no structure, there's no... the other 20 guys on the ice had zero to do with the play, or dressed, pardon me, had zero to do with the play. So that tends to bring frustration into it. The team part of it can certainly be fixed, and I think the last goal was, the 5th one. I don't even know if that was a team one. That's probably a pair of D that are just fumbling around in their end, and that leads to frustration. So now everybody else is frustrated. Some of their entry goals, 5-on-5, they made a nice play back and they scored off the rush. That's a team play. We can work on that and we can fix it. So let's take care of what we can take care of. If you're an individual and you're playing, clean it up. And if you can't, then we got to start asking ourselves, do you belong? And this isn't about Albert. Please don't. This isn't about Albert. This is about all of us. If you can't clean it up, we got to figure things out.
Is there something you can put your finger on as far as it's like the third time now in 2 games that the team scored like
Quickly.
right
Yep.
away after? I mean, are you seeing anything after the first goal that
No, we weren't good in the circle tonight. I'm not sure what we were in the third, but after 2 periods, we were on the wrong end of a lot of faceoffs. And they're a 30th place faceoff team, so we don't start with the puck. And after you give up a goal, the first thing you want to do is have possession. And if you don't, they got a little momentum. They're coming after you. They're reestablished. So we'll have to look at that. But there's not a pattern. There's nothing that's showing up. It's always this line or it's this type of goal against. It's just it's happening, and we've got to find a way to solve it.
Dylan talked about the net front. I know you talked about that last game as well. What aren't you seeing there that you need to?
Offensively or defensively? Defensively, well, we're in position sometimes, and we don't move people or we don't control sticks. And then when we're out of position, we're not having a lot of success, and I call it sweeping the crease, anything that's laying around in there. 65-75% of the time that and we use this, if the puck gets to the goaltender's pads, I'm pretty confident that we're going to get it back. You just expand out quicker. So if you don't sweep creases, you don't get good body position, you don't control sticks, it makes it hard on our goaltenders. We've seen a number of tip-ins over the last little bit, so spent a lot of time in practice yesterday on it.
You put the lines into the blender again to start the game. How did you feel that Patrick Kane performed on the third line today? And is there any lingering effects that he's continuing to suffer from when he was out of the lineup earlier this season?
He had an upper body injury. He's had some real good looks, one-timer looks, some tough empty netters, not easy empty netters, but competition around him and normally that's money for him. That goes in, and he's missing. So are there lingering effects? There could be. He's pretty noble man, and he's not bitching or complaining about anything. So, but he also missed 3.5 weeks. So I don't know if there is lingering effects or not. But usually those are in, especially those one-timers on the power play and some of the empty netters.
The margin of error is so thin in games. I guess when players are trying to mentally work through that, is there an easy way to navigate that in terms of not worrying about the mistakes and playing through things?
Well, the mistakes magnify things. You feel tension. You don't want to let your teammates down. Everybody picked Albert up after that goal. Hey, let's go. Come on, you're a good player, that type of stuff. But there's not much you can do. He made the error, made the mistake. He feels not quite as big as he went from 6'1" to 5'10" there, and then it takes a little while to grow again. I'm just using, obviously, an analogy, but that's how it happens between the years. And there's no doubt that we can get stronger in that area, all of us.
Teams talk about culture a lot. I mean, obviously, they're a team that's got a wealth of reservoir to draw upon of ways to win, and your team doesn't have that reservoir. Does that impact things when they go south for you guys, do you think, because you don't kind of have built up that reservoir of success?
Well, I probably answer the question going back from 05 to 08. We had that wealth of that reservoir and it felt like when things went sideways, and they did. I think the year we won the Cup, we were winless in 8 games or something like that at one point, or 1 win in 8 games. When it went sideways, it was a little calmer. There was more confidence. What I noticed from their team tonight, that once they got the lead, Sorelli and Hagel could come out, and they were just happy to check. They were okay with, there's Raymond and Larkin. We're going to shut these 2 down, and we'll let the rest of the guys go and try and score goal 5, goal 6. That's part of learning how to win and how to do it. I think that they have won enough that they can plug and play. They've been together long enough so they can bring young defensemen up and plug them in, and they can play because they all understand how they're going to play certain situations. We don't quite have that yet. So if I'm comparing the 2 teams, that would be it. But the best comparison I'd have is going backwards to my experience here when we did have good teams. You overcome mistakes quicker. You live with them. You make fewer of them too. So